All right, we are live. All right, I can see sound and everything. HeartlandDefenders.com, Heartland Defenders on YouTube. Streaming app was giving me a little problems here starting up the show because of different accounts that are no longer alive, thanks to FBook. So again, HeartlandDefenders.com, Heartland Defenders here on YouTube. And you're watching us live, or if you're watching us later, like, share, subscribe, share to your friends and family, because either way, it's going to start a conversation. We hope. Let's bring Mike and Jacob in. Let's see. This one looks good. Let's try that one. Hey guys. Oh goodness gracious! So since I've changed things, I've been in here since like 5:30, changing things and fixing things and making sure screens are adjusted correctly, and like for the everything on the stream app and everything. And then right before I was supposed to go live, like 3 minutes before, it crashed on me, and I was like, "Come on, really?"
Nice.
Well, I was trying to not let it just make me go live too on Facebook, like Jeremy's live on Facebook, because whatever.
Jeremy's live on Facebook. What?
Right.
Cool.
Friends are going to be like, what in the fuck is wrong with him?
No doubt. No doubt. Oh,
Doing that racing thing. We still going to talk about the knives we carry?
Well, no, it's going to be knives, camp knives, but I haven't gotten that together yet, so that's not going to be today.
Okay. Well, I know that was when we last time we were on, we're like, bring your knives.
Yeah,
I know. Mine's downstairs.
Yeah.
Other than my little one. Ooh, I did get a cool new one that I carry now at work.
Oh, nice. Folding
I
carpet
have
knife?
one just like that.
Yeah.
I don't carry it at work
Ah.
because my work completely changed.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
You office dude now.
I'm not lying to you, though. If you ever have the opportunity to go from one side of a bridge, we'll call it that, one side of a bridge to the other side of the bridge to do what the other side does, do it.
Gotcha.
At least take a shadow or something. Just do it. Because for years, I was that guy turning wrenches, busting knuckles, fixing it, closing the job. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My new job, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm the guy going, you need to go fix that because it's on my board.
It's a weird spot to go from into, isn't it? Because you're so used to just doing it yourself.
It is. I mean, I'm not lying to you. I sat there today, the day two there, and it's like, all right, let's get your feet wet. Okay, start doing this. And like, I'm talking to these people like, dude, I did your job. Like, not literally did his job, but the same exact premise, a very like-minded, especially with like installation stuff aspect. Like, I did your job, and it's like, I did your job. How do you not know? Like, I know. Like, why am I telling you sitting in an office how to do your job?
Oh, it happens. Believe
Yeah,
me.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much my day. So.
And it gets nerve-wracking when you're in a position, my last job, where you're dealing with people that are dealing with stuff in hospitals. So it's coming in contact with patients, and the person doesn't know the basics of what they're working on to begin with, and they're asking you those questions, and you're going, "Why are you even working on this?" That gets nerve-wracking. Because it's like, okay, now I have to be careful what questions I really answer, because when this guy screws up, he's gonna blame me. So yeah.
Well, they told me to do that.
Right.
Yep.
So for everybody watching, we are changing the show around a little bit. Casper had posted it. I don't remember where.
Yeah, well, I did start. So I'm working on a new Heartland Facebook page that's going to be very Manila.
Okay.
It's going to be basically just to kind of promote the show and maybe a few other things. I think I might even turn off comments. I haven't decided yet. I didn't even publish it yet.
So do we want to do more of a Heartland page, or do we want to do more of a We'll do it live page.
We'll do a live page.
It's kind of a combination, but not. I mean, it's going to be to promote the show when necessary. And then it's just going to do, the gun shows that we're going to be, it's going to be more of a promotional page than a
informational page.
Discussion.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I would call it that. Yeah, let's call it promotional.
Okay.
Yes, it's a very good word for it.
So. And you'll
Facebook
notice
won't say it that way.
You'll notice that we're going to be changing
Probably
it up in a
not.
different.
I made it very generic, though. You'll
Right.
see.
Well, and we'll
Did
just
you
have to
name it
make sure.
Heartland?
Oh yeah, I did. Fuck them.
We'll have to make sure though that everybody that's in the group understands and knows it's not the place to go and have the comments and the discussions.
Yeah, again, that's why I haven't decided if I'll just do it. I think the comment thing I'm gonna do approval only.
Ah, yes, there you go.
I'm gonna be the Facebook fact checker.
Boy,
I'm gonna be the guy.
Man.
I think it, or I'm just gonna turn off comments, period, and just make it. This is where you go to get the information, read it, move on.
Right. Nice.
We'll see how. I'm just trying to do something just so people know that we're on Facebook or on YouTube, and
maybe I'll be able to push us to go live to there, even maybe.
Maybe.
And
yeah.
hopefully the show isn't what caused us. I have a feeling it was a post or two that got us banned, not
I don't
the
know.
show.
Yeah, well,
I don't think it was a poster too. I
we
think
had a couple of trolls. We did have a couple of trolls.
Because when we posted the what were we calling it? Freedom March. What the February March?
Oh yeah.
When we posted that, we had 2 or 3 of them come on there, call us all incels. It's like, I guarantee you I'm not.
Yeah, it got kind of weird.
It did get weird, and I you knew it was just timing. I mean, we never saw reports or posts. But...
No, I mean it was very, and again, and because it was our group page, it was just very weird that because we really did. I mean, I guess every once in a while, I mean, we have a couple of members that are pretty, let's say, pro-Trump.
Yes.
And maybe not so much. I mean, they're very, very pro-Trump-ish. And I think a couple of times comments back and forth between them and the troll. I think it was just enough that they were like, and it was kind of funny because we never really posted those kind of posts that I would have thought that got, people riled up anyways, because there's information.
There's still pages out that's every
I know. That's what's crazy.
That's every conversation is pissing contests between trolls
and some like awful things back and forth to each other.
Right.
Yeah. I'm on a couple of private pages that are horrible.
Yeah.
and they're there every day, and I'm like, and we got kicked off.
Yeah, okay. I know, right?
Okay.
But again, like we've said numerous times, we're the guys that are like communication. It's all about communication.
We're non-confrontational.
Right. It's communication, not confrontation.
Yeah.
Talk.
But we will be changing the show a bit as well, as long as adding a page too. So instead of us just kind of going off on our random squirrel sessions for 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to be a little more structured, and it's going to be I don't have the list in front of me, and I'm afraid to click anything at this point.
No, so basically the first 15 that and this will be Jeremy's. He'll be our stop clock.
He's got 6 monitors. One of them is
he's
like
our
a 40-inch clock.
Yeah,
it's like 15 minutes time.
I'll have stuff set up. Don't worry.
Yeah. So we're gonna we're gonna do a little bit more each show about our group, or or something about prepping or constitutional stuff that our group is into. And then the second part is going to be a little bit more, 15 minutes worth. Will be on constitutional stuff going on, maybe certain bills in Congress, where you should look for these bills, what you can do about these bills, what you can't do about them. And then the next 15 minutes will be current events, kind of a little bit of what we do, but, trying to stay semi-focused, not squirrel. And then whatever time is left after intro and those 15 minutes, we'll get our time to be squirrel.
Right.
And that's strictly the last segment, strictly
last 15 minutes. We'll just call it shenanigans.
And as you
more or less.
And as
more or
see,
less.
You guys will hear here any second. If you have the show up, you'll see one of the splash screens I have set up. I don't have the rest of the buttons set up though.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then it'll be, whatever rabbit hole. If you got a conspiracy, that'd be your time to throw it into the into the chat itself, and we'll go off in the rabbit hole for the last part of the show, and that's how we'll end. Somewhere in the rabbit hole. So that's kind of the idea. Tonight we'll be just kind of feeling around, and we got on a little late, so it'll be probably a little bit of just a little bit of kind of feeling it out, kind of letting you know what we're going to do in the future and see how it goes.
Yep.
All right, well, shut up, stop talking, let's get to something.
All right, I'm kind of explaining the whole thing.
It's about the show. We still got 2 minutes left.
For the last 15 minutes.
So this is part of the group stuff that we do, which, and we'll have some dates and stuff coming up. I know, obviously this weekend, if you want to come out and see, maybe Jeremy, definitely myself.
I'll be there Saturday with you.
Okay, Saturday. So Jeremy, I'll be there Saturday.
That's up north.
Ryan.
Yep, Summit County.
We're Summit County this weekend.
Don't take that and go, I'm going to go meet these guys, and you live in Dayton.
Well, I mean, if you want to drive the 3 hours
you
to
want
come
to drive
here,
up. I mean,
fair warning, it's a 3.5 hour plus something drive. Just letting you know.
It's a good gun show though.
It's a very good gun show, especially first thing Saturday.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're gonna drive from Dayton to see us. I'd probably wait till the following weekend and go to the Berea show personally.
That's a longer drive.
Drive from Dayton.
Yeah.
That's a much bigger show.
Yeah.
But you have a show that weekend.
I think we do.
Yeah.
Hilliard, I think it's
Hilliard. Yeah, I believe it is Hilliard. And
so we're just on the west side of Columbus, the Hilliard area.
Okay, yeah. So and again, that's kind of the new informational Heartland page. We'll have that kind of stuff. Again, because I'd like to keep the page up and running, I'm still debating on whether we'll do comments or if we'll just keep it strictly go there for information. You want to chat, come here and we'll talk here on Tuesday nights. It's probably going to be the safest way to do it for now. And we'll go from there. You want to really talk to us? Come see us at one of the gun shows.
Right.
Or just reach out. We had a couple guys reach out to us recently.
Hit us on the website.
Yeah, right through the website. That should be an interesting conversation. I'm going to have a talk with a college student tomorrow night, who is doing not a report. He's kind of a report, but not. He's just kind of doing a report on the current political climate, and he's reaching out to all kinds of different people.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, including groups like ours. I think he saw the article. Actually, we were in the Plain Dealer not that long ago, and it's funny because I wasn't sure how many people were going to see it, and one of my and a guy I didn't actually expect to. He's good dude, but I didn't expect him to. Although the more I think about it, he's kind of the guy that would read the newspaper, because he probably read it in print. He called our store today and was like, I saw you in the paper. I was like, I had to think for about a minute. I'm like, am I wanted? Or, read the article. Oh, yeah. But so I might even post, I'll probably post our little paragraph on that information page that we did on there. if you want to find the article, it's in Plain Dealer, which you'll have to get a subscription, I think.
To Cleveland.com, I think.
Cleveland.com, I think. If you don't
look
have
at
subscription,
you look at the one that Dayton did.
Yeah, Dayton's got, Dayton's
what
is
it
a little,
is.
Dayton's really wasn't, they didn't talk to us per se.
Or about us even.
Yeah, but the other one is Brian Albright, who wrote the article. I did speak with him on the phone, and I will tell you that he quoted me word for word in that. If you find us in the Plain Dealer, he did quote me word for word, and I'm cool with that.
Nice.
I thought it was a very good write-up on what it's a short, paragraph and a half maybe. It's not like a huge full-blown. There's a lot to the article, but our little section is only about a paragraph, maybe paragraph and a half. But it's a good read.
We're a small fish in a big ocean.
Yeah, for sure. And in that article, it's a big article, and we're a little piece.
Yep.
But it was a good piece, and he did. Again, he quoted me. He quoted me word for word. I mean, he didn't add no extra garbage. He didn't, skip something. He didn't put just pieces of what I said. He actually put what I said in it. So I think it went really well.
Nice.
Again, I will take our little snippet when I get our new Heartland page up, and I'll at least put the little snippet from that on there and give you maybe some links to find it if you have a subscription or whatever. So
That's only if you still have Facebook after the purge.
well, probably. Yeah.
They gave it
The
back to
other
you, but
purge or
the after inaugurational purge.
yes.
Yeah.
So
The like hard reset on everybody, and half the people were like, "You're permanently banned." 3 days later, you're not banned.
yeah. Well, and if you Google, and I think if you Google us on if you Google Plain Dealer Heartland Defenders, I think you'll come up with both articles if I remember right. If not, try Cleveland.com and see. They should pop up again. If they don't, we'll get it on the new thing. Or if that doesn't pan out, I'll put it on my own personal page. If you're trying to friend me, you watch the show and you're trying to friend me on Facebook, I'm a little bit more. I've eliminated a lot of people that I don't know personally. So if I don't know you, don't take offense if I don't put you on as a friend. I was doing that for a long time, doing everybody.
Fair warning. If you request a friend with me on Facebook,
you will die first.
Never going to happen. It's just not.
But again, you can reach us through the website. So there is right on the front page of the website, you can find a place to contact us, and we do respond. So
and yes, when you do Google Plain Dealer Heartland Defenders, both come up.
They do. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Again,
now they've watered down the first one a lot.
Yes.
It's very weird. It's just pictures with captions below it, compared to before when they had a lot more information involved.
Yeah, you have to you kind of have to go into it now to find. Yeah, it's a little weird. I know. I think it's kind of archived. Hey, good night, Sean. I know you're not on there anymore, Sean. I'll post it on Discord too.
Actually, that was the photo section had all the screenshots. The actual article itself is the next link. Yeah.
Oh, is there? Okay, cool. So yeah, so it's out there. If you want to know a little bit more about us, there you've got those. The HeartlandDefender.com. You have some other thing. The gun shows.
Nice.
Again,
don't forget it's May, Southern Ohio, Hocking Hills area.
I think it's survival boot camp.
Yeah, old school survival boot camp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Check that. Look at that website. If you're interested in survival skills and anything like that, might make a weekend out of it, but we will be there.
And they're actually allowing the three of us to speak to you all.
Yeah, I think
they don't watch the show, do they?
We'll be ending up in some panel discussion, and
I don't know how that happens,
but we get there.
We'll see. But it should be good. it should be a good time. So,
Well,
um,
and it fits us pretty well for the main part of. I mean, this show is a separate extension of what we would consider
sure.
the group.
We're trying to rein it back in, though.
Well, we are. I mean, we've heard the criticism and the comments, and we're trying to work on that. But that old school survivalist boot camp, I think that's what it's called.
Old school survival boot camp.
Okay,
Yeah.
That fits more of us, at least in the prepping and being prepared and
Sure.
As a group. Now, as for the three of us sitting on here talking, that's a whole different story.
Yeah. It's probably, it's got a lot of aspects of who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
Even individually. I mean, it doesn't cover probably everything we do individually, because that's not even we'd have to go on OnlyFans or something probably, but
No,
I don't. Yeah,
they would pay me to put my shit back on.
They'd be telling us you got to pay me for the therapy.
Yeah. We might have to pay.
Yeah, we'll be paying for therapy. Yeah, that's
Here's
true.
$10. Please watch us.
See my knife?
Yeah.
Mine's in the other room.
I don't. I know. I put mine back down but we are. So that'll be some stuff we'll start doing in this beginning segment. It'll be more about the group, about prepping. So that'll kind of be, what the first segment will be. And then, like I said, we're already running over. But so next segment would be talking about. Whoa, Palmer's already up. Oh yeah, well, Palmer's new rally cry.
Ooh, oh boy.
Which I kind of like.
Afraid. I am very, very afraid.
It's tear down the wall, Mr. Biden.
So I guess we're going into current events and our feelings.
I think we should probably save that to the rabbit hole at the end. Probably.
Right. Because
probably
which wall?
Rabbit hole.
I'm pretty sure that
say,
statement is the one around DC.
Well,
Yeah. Yes. But so the next segment that we would lead into would be talking about Congress, constitutional issues. I think we've probably said it on nauseam to here and to our, to the group itself. Although I have been looking up some new places. No, Palmer is. I think Palmer's drinking tonight. But we've talked about Congress.gov. It's a great place to go. Set up an account. You can follow bills. They'll email you every time there's a change in anything. Now you can reduce that to if there's just pieces, parts you want, but the best thing is just to sign up for alerts. It'll alert you every time there's a vote, every time it goes to the next committee, sponsors, text is changed. It covers everything. It's probably one of the best out there. And also, I did just find recently that C-SPAN does a very similar thing as well. And C-SPAN, I like C-SPAN in the fact that there's really not a lot of commentary. You know what C-SPAN reminds me a lot of, and it just slipped my mind. Who's the kid? Who's News to Share?
Ford Fisher.
Yeah.
Ford Fisher. C-SPAN's kind of that, but for the government. They just
record it.
Yeah, right.
Here it is.
There it is. Yeah, here's the monkeys in the zoo.
Yep.
You decide. So that's another good one. And what I found is not only will you can do very similar things like for Congress.gov, where you can set alerts. You can set the alerts for when they go live with the video during those hearings. So if you want to know when the hearings are live, so it's actually pretty cool if you go on there. And it's the same thing. You can set up an account. I didn't know that they did all that until just recently. I was looking for how do you put it? More neutral news, I guess. I was looking for as close to unbiased, bipartisan, whatever you want to call it, news.
Well, have you seen
Go ahead.
to talk about news side of it? Have you seen the Both Sides app? There's an app. It's literally called Both Sides.
No.
So it literally takes news articles. You search for, wall around DC.
Yeah.
And it will show you news articles for the left and for the right, broken apart, left and right, of the headlines that reflect or incorporate, DC wall or Biden and whatever. Biden,
I didn't realize that was an app though, because somebody posted. I saw something like that on Facebook, and somebody had posted, and it was like basically almost two different headlines.
Yeah,
but
it's the same thing.
Okay.
You can find it on the App Store. It's called Both Side.
Okay.
Or Both Sides or Both Side, and you type in a search.
Yeah.
And it literally gives you the left's version and the right's version of the same exact thing.
It's one.
It is astonishing.
Oh, I'm sure.
You can obviously click on them and go in and read them.
Right.
And it's opinion and opinion. It's just which opinion do you? I'm getting into a rabbit hole, so let's continue.
no, but that's a good. There's
a
good.
rabbit hole I want to jump down.
No, because that's kind of cool. Because that would be kind of cool in the fact to type in what we're talking about now. Type in whatever. House Bill 8. Yeah.
HB1 or whatever.
Right.
270, whatever House Bill number. You'll get every news article in regards to those.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I like that. I have not found that one yet. So yeah,
so check it out.
Yeah, and so I started reading a lot, to try to kind of give us some, some places to go to do this segment. And I found NPR. NPR is actually decent. NPR.
I've always heard NPR does a very liberal spin.
I wouldn't say they liberal spin. I would say that they stand on the fence, but the wind blows a little left.
Okay.
But they're very on the fence. I mean, they've already done some stuff like, we're not really sure why Biden's doing this, and
I think they've all done that.
Fair.
CNN's done that. Like it less than 3 months, they're like, really?
Yeah, that's fair. But they do. You know what they do is they'll agree with the right, but not like they'll pussyfoot around it a lot. Even if you're reading the article, you can tell they're like, oh, they agree with them. I see that.
Yeah.
But they won't say it. But they're fair. They're fair. They're not horrible. I mean, they're definitely. I'm sure they're owned by. Although, the more I did this, the more I learned that there's very few media outlets that aren't. There's, so if you have this cluster of media outlets, pretty much like this cluster and this cluster and this cluster are owned by 3 companies.
Yep.
They pretty much own it all.
Yep.
And some of them own ones on both sides. So it's like, you're like, it's very weird.
We'll chat about it in private, but I heard something over the past few days that kind of scared the shit out of me when it comes to the media.
Okay.
And we can talk about it next Tuesday if we want to.
Okay, cool. All right. And also that, so there are a couple, BBC is kind of interesting in the fact that, there, and I wouldn't even so much watch BBC America. I'd watch BBC.
Yeah, international.
Yeah.
I know where you're going. Where you're going with this idea. go read a CU website or a EU or whatever the .com replacement is for over the oceans. Get away from here and go read their here information. It's completely different.
It's a neat perspective. And now, and you know, and some of them you can tell because you know, they have a little bit of that divide too in Europe. I mean, you know, there is kind of conservative and liberal to some degree. But when they talk about, it's interesting when they talk about things going on in the States, it's a little different perspective because they don't, you know, even though they might, if they were here, they might vote for Biden per se. Some of them, they still give a pretty honest opinion of, like, you know, they're fairly honest about it. So that's another good one, which is also leads me to the now it is a subscription based, and I did get the subscription because I like a lot of articles they have. It's called The Economist. It's another one out of UK. It's also the one that I said has now, actually I didn't realize until I started reading the article, we are now 6 years in a row, including this year, they have now declared, you know, the U.S. a flawed democracy. Even after the election of Biden, they still have declared us a flawed democracy for the 6th year in a row. And it's a neat perspective. Again,
well, what did they classify us before that?
A democracy, because, and just stop out there.
You know that Shane's gonna go, we're not a democracy.
Yeah, no, we if this is a phone, okay? A phone.
I got it. I got one right here.
Okay, and yes, technically it's a Kyocera, but it's a phone, much like our form of government is a democracy, but the kind of democracy is a constitutional republic. Oh. So they look at it from, their articles are kind of based on a almost like a business perspective, because that's kind of what they do. That's what their, you know, that their advisory board, beyond what they do in the magazine, they help businesses across the world get together. You know, countries want to do business with this country, or, you know, that's what they do. So when they look at our country, they look at, you know, they look at it not just, you know, Democrat and Republican. They look at it as a whole, you know, almost like a DO doctor rather than a physician, you know, an MD, where a DO will not look at just your one symptom and treat your symptom. They try and treat the whole body instead. It's kind of what The Economist does. They look at everything, you know, people's trust in government, you know, how the country, you know, is it, you know, are the people kind of divided? Are they together? Is legislation happening that's for the people or for the people that spend the most for votes? You know, is it economically stable under the current government? So they kind of give a neat perspective. That's why I got the subscription. It's like $100 for a year. But
so quick question. Can you let me know if do they show you this gauge, this scale?
Yes.
Okay. So you can actually see the scale. Is there anything less than a flawed democracy?
Yeah, because technically, so I think if I remember, and I'm going from memory here, I believe you're, you know, and no matter what kind of government you have, if they consider it working well for the people and the country, I think you have to be 8.5 to 10.
Okay.
We are like, I think we're in the next category, which I believe is 6.5 to 8 or 6 to 8 or 6 to 8.5, something to that degree. We're in that section. And then, yeah, I believe anything below a 6 is like a failing and then a failed, whatever, substitute whatever
So
name.
Rome is failed.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah. That would be a
Rome,
failed, whatever,
failed.
democracy, or even they even do the scale for communist countries.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Failed
yeah. So I
communism?
mean, yeah. So
is that a typical level? Is that like the general level?
well, so so it changes a little again because they're looking at it economically to some degree. That's kind of their basis. So I know when the riots and stuff were happening, in China and things like that, they lost points because it wasn't as stable to do business in China anymore. And the tariffs, when Trump was doing the tariffs, so that affected their scale. So their level of communism fell mainly because the government wasn't quite as in control as a true communist country should be. So again, and they don't look at it like, they don't just look at how the people are feeling, or it's like, because in most communist countries, if you grow up communist, you believe what the government tells you. And if the majority of people are like, yeah, hey, whatever they're telling me must be right, we're good, then that is a successful communist country, I guess you could say, on an economic level. It's stable to do business with them because the people don't know any better and they're stupid.
It's good on paper.
Yes. Well, it's good for business.
Good for business.
It's good for business. And obviously, yeah, and obviously that's true because, I don't know, pick up something in your room. Where's it made?
Right.
So
what would be our third
Florida?
Our third section we'd go into, because that'd about be right about
wait, where was that made?
Florida?
Really?
Yeah.
Are they still made in America? Really? I'll be damned.
I guess Florida.
Well, good on them for a change.
See, this thing's
Well, that kind of change.
But I can tell you, the phone, China.
Yeah.
Camera, China.
Right.
Ring light, China. TV, China. Laptop, every piece and part in it's made in China, probably built in America.
Yep, this was made in China.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, before we get to the next section, how does someone's opinion of me living in a failed democracy affect? So the problem, I guess, with a failed on Palmer on there, and I'll start putting some of their articles up because I'm paying for the subscription. But they're how a failed democracy, it affects, obviously that's when the people, legislation is no longer working for the people at all. It is now moving away from the current it's just even if the people were to uprise in China and no longer wanted communism on their scale, again, economically, they would consider it communism failing, even if it was a good thing for the country, because their government is communism. They would consider it a failing if the people were to uprise and no longer be good with communism, even though that might be good for the country. So they don't think on it, in a tunnel. They look at it in a wider picture. So a failed if democracy were to fail here, that would basically, if you ever get to the failed part, that would mean that our democracy has probably turned to socialism, Marxism, and or communism. It has turned to something else. So now it's failed. So I would say that would affect you a lot. Because your democracy is no longer democracy. It has failed, and now you're a different form of government.
Because right now you said we're failing.
No, flawed.
We're flawed.
We are listed as a flawed democracy. It no longer, the people, us, no longer trust the government running the country the way we
And they
want.
just figured this out 6 years ago?
Oh, no, it's been sliding close for a long... Actually, I believe we started sliding, believe it or not, and Palmer will like this, not long after the Patriot Act was...
Huh.
Imagine that.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was right around there. It was right around that, not long after September 11th that we started sliding. So it wasn't a Republican or Democrat thing. It was
a partisan thing.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sorry, it was a bipartisan thing.
Yes, very much so.
That sucker was everybody. They were like, oh God, it hurt everybody's feelings. Let's do this.
Yes. So that was that kind of what brought him to that. And again, we'll get into that more when we get into that section. They do have some. They have some interesting articles because it does give you a different perspective. Because they try not to make it overly political party wise. But they do have some, what I like is they actually have some, and they put it in big bold letters, opinion pieces, where, they might say something bad about Trump or something bad about Biden or Obama, but they have it as opinion, which is
they make it blatantly up.
Yes.
But okay, is it? Yeah, it's time. Okay, so rabbit hole. It doesn't fucking matter.
We skipped we skipped completely over the third section.
Okay, well, yeah. Give me
we only got 15 minutes left.
I can explain the third section in 2 minutes. So the third section we'll be doing at normally at 8:30 will be current events, things going on either in our state. We'll probably try and start in our state somewhere if there's something going on, and then on a national level it'll be current events. We'll try and keep it as factual as possible. You did that on purpose. Yes, I did, Palmer. And then moved on after. But yeah, and kind of a little bit of how our show kind of has been, pretty much just current events, things going on, maybe even other things that we're getting into, rallies and stuff like that aren't necessarily the group. Which we might mention in the first section, rallies that we might be going to, because that kind of stuff should be happening again. And then we'll be getting into this section.
Oh, boy.
It doesn't matter if they put it in 48 font in the color of red, blue, green, purple, orange, and black. People won't read it. They'll read the headline that says Trump bad or Biden bad. And they'll go, oh my God. And it doesn't matter which side, left, right, center, doesn't matter, because people aren't paying attention.
People aren't paying attention enough to notice that a fucking article is 3 years old, for example. I'm sorry.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm sorry.
I saw somebody, I kid you not, I saw somebody post something. Man, it was, and it's funny, it kind of ties into, I can get Palmer's goat one more time. It was some
Keywords?
kind of, legislation that happened right around Patriot Act, and it was a piece that was either in it or got thrown. I don't remember, but it was basically part of the Patriot Act, and they posted it like it happened yesterday, and I'm like, dude, you're like fucking 20 years late, man.
Yep.
I saw
Like,
somebody's been doing. People have been
but
doing
at
that
the
on
same
Facebook.
time, but at the same time, you've got people who, Tom McDonald did that song "Fake Woke." And I'm sorry, there's fake woke and there's fake patriot, because you got people that run around here like they're straight up patriots that get this much information from either listening to somebody like us or watching some other YouTube video or reading some damn article, and they run around drawing their own conclusions out of these bills and shit like that. That's not even in there. What was it? What was the most recent one? Somebody said that the registry that the House bill won, and they were going to write everybody's name down that own guns, and they're coming for them. And it's like, that's not even in that.
Yeah.
That's over here.
Right.
That's in a whole nother bill. You fucking educate yourself.
Well, it was the other day, I got really annoyed, and I just, instead of me destroying somebody or jumping all over their post, I just slowly scrolled by as they posted an article from last year around this time, basically talking about how all the restaurants and stuff are having to close up and are losing business, and there's not a lot of anything going on. And people are like, oh my God, I can't believe they're still suffering as bad as they are. And I'm like, that was last year's article. Like, that was almost a year ago exactly today that article was posted, and you're reposting it, and people are believing that it's a new article.
Well, and so...
Oh, but
in all fairness to that, though, I think probably... So that's it. This would be a perfect one for Facebook fact checker, because that's half true. Because what you're seeing, only because this... and only because I know a couple of guys who are in that position, with their restaurants. It's now a year later, and things aren't back to the way they used to be pre-COVID.
Right.
And they're at a point now where for a year they've been pretty much running for the most part out of their pocketbook.
Yep.
And they're giving up because they just don't. Even though there seems to be quote unquote light at the end of the tunnel, everybody's getting vaccinated and COVID's gone all of a sudden. We're in that section. I can do that.
Yeah.
They're like, they don't see it happening, and they can't just keep pulling out of their pocketbook to keep the place going.
And it's interesting to see some restaurants.
Hold on. With your statement right there, am I wrong in thinking that a lot of the stuff I've been hearing as of the last 3 weeks is going that direction? Everybody's getting vaccinated. I had a guy at work today. He's like, well, they just released 40-year-olds to get vaccinations.
Oh, nice.
So
I didn't know that.
One of the guys that works on the other side of the office was like, yeah, my wife is the person that makes the phone calls to the people that are in contact with people with corona. And it was 2 weeks at the beginning. It was 2 weeks. Now it's like 10 days, 5 if you don't have any symptoms, or 7 if you don't have any symptoms. Yeah. It's like you have to have like a freaking master's degree in algebra to figure out how many days. He literally ended it with, don't worry about it. Depending on how many people you have in your family and how many of this and kids and all that, you can end up being in quarantine for a month.
But see, here's the funny thing though. It's interesting to see that. Oh, damn.
My question is one thing. Am I the only one hearing them not acting like the world is coming to an end like they have for the last year? And it is now becoming more of a conversation piece that it is going down. Places are going to be opening back up.
Yeah, the White House is pretty doom and gloom still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just certain states have decided they're going off on their own. Texas being the most popular one. I know there's like 4 or 5 more that have decided they're done. They're
I know
opening things
that.
up.
But even here in Ohio, there's less of the ads popping up on TV. There's less of the ads on the radio.
So since we're in the rabbit hole, Jeremy, do you want to finish your other thought first?
My other thought was it's interesting to see that there's still restaurants and establishments that are still having an issue, where others are that said Corona was the best thing that happened to them because of they decided they were originally not a to-go place. They decided to start doing takeout, and business went through the roof. I know
more forward thinking.
There's a barbecue place by me that they've said, like, we were doing great, we were doing wonderful, but then we got worried. We even took a week off, and when we came back, after we set everything up to just do takeout, like you couldn't stay in, it was just takeout. And they even told whatever the fucking Grubhub to go F off because of the amount of money they take out of each order. That they have their own ordering service online, and you can just online pay for it, walk in, tell them their name, they hand you your bags, you walk out the door. Or they'll even come to your car. And he's like, we've had amazing business ever since. He's like,
and I think some places did. I think I think probably the ones hit the hardest are probably high-end places, because they sell ambiance along with their meal. Like I know my buddy
getting like Olive, and this isn't even high-end, but have you ordered Olive Garden to go yet?
Olive Garden to go, you might as well just make fucking the boxed or fucking
that's
bag.
all I'm saying. Like the ambiance of the Olive Garden is would you like wine?
More salad, more
breadstick. The Italian music playing, the way the restaurant's built. That's the whole point of going to the Olive Garden. I mean, all of us at one point in our life thought the Olive Garden was high-end dining.
Until I saw somebody standing waiting in line to get in his fucking pajamas.
Well, fair. Well, I'll tell you, but you're right.
And they let him in.
Adapting. I'm going to tell you right now, Longhorns and Menor, and probably other locations, they figured out a system. Yeah, exactly. Longhorns.
Oh my God! It's 2 hours.
Had probably 15. I would say they went up to about 15 or 20 curbside pickups. Where I'm going to tell you what, I probably had some of the best meals from Longhorns taking it home than I did sitting in.
Oh, nice.
I mean, they put the system down. So I imagine places like that, but yeah, other places, I think small joints too, because if you're think of the mom and pop diners. I mean, we've all been in them. Small guys like us, we're back to back with the dude behind us because the chairs are so close. Yep. Well, when those places had to take, and they're already small, when they had to take half their tables out.
Well, that's that barbecue place by me. They had to remove all their tables because it was so small.
Taking out half the tables, open it up. We went to a Japanese steak place this past weekend, and have you been? You've been to a Japanese steakhouse like the Hibachi, right?
Yep.
It's usually two seats, 3 seats, or 4 seats, 2 seats, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. 3, 4, 3. They were trying to stick more people at the tables because there's 2 sections. There was 2 sections. You walked in and you either went that side or that side. They shut this whole side down. That was their 50% off. What they did was they took an extra chair from each side and stuck it in there. So you were kind of tight on the end. It was like weird. Like you cut your restaurant down to 50%, but you stuck more people at each table on the 50% you left open.
Right. So there was no spacing. It was just.
Yeah, it's the same concept I have with like the whole mask thing and the double mask thing. There's a lot of shit.
Well, I don't even want to talk about the double mask.
Hold on. All I'm saying is, and we'll end you on this with the last 3 minutes. There's just a lot of shit that just doesn't make fucking sense. Just make it make sense.
Well, and
Because
it's,
you
it's
got
not
one
gonna
restaurant.
now.
Well, you got one restaurant cutting down half their seating by sticking extra chairs at tables that are designed for 6 or 8 people, 7 people or whatever, right? The 2, 4, so 8 people. They're sticking 10 people at that table, right?
Which
You
is,
can't stick any more than 10.
No more than 10.
Well,
then they're
but they
putting
have to be from the
dividers
same
up.
household.
Huh? Well, they're
They're
putting
supposed to be.
dividers. Like
Yeah.
there was a plexiglass divider
No,
between
No.
these people and
No,
us.
that was not what they were supposed to be doing.
I'm not even lying. There were plexiglass dividers sitting at the corners of the table. But
Oh
awesome.
my god.
anyway, you've got that happening. Then you've got, like you said, mom and pop shops where they just take 50% of their tables out. So in instance of that, where big guys like us are, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow trying to eat, well, they just opened up space in there.
yeah. Well,
But there's just so much stuff that just doesn't make sense to it. Like, how was it so bad at the beginning that it was a guaranteed 2 weeks off, 14 days, that was your quarantine. But now it's not that bad, so it's only 5, 7, or 10, depending on.
well, that's because more
Your
people are
symptoms.
vaccinated. That's because more people are vaccinated, Jacob.
Well,
Come on.
so-
Please, make it make sense.
And then to end it on that note of the more vaccinations, I just saw where the possibilities of people with vaccination cards are going to be able to have more leeway in doing certain things.
Yeah, that's a federal thing. Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
uh,
Well, and
all
also,
the way up to going to concerts and going
Yeah.
to sporting events. People with vaccinations will get priority over people without.
Well, yeah. So okay. So
I'll say something when you're not on camera.
So yeah. So guess what? Guess what? So counterfeiters are going to go from fake licenses to
Fake vaccination cards.
Right.
You said it for me. It's like, yeah, I guess I'm living my 16, 17, and 18-year-old life again.
Yes. Yeah. It's exactly what it's going to be because here's the thing. These vaccination cards or whatever. Who the fuck at the door of a concert is going to? Hold on. Let me call DC and make sure this is real.
Well, let me call your doctor. That's probably not going to be
Yeah,
until it's
yeah.
8:00 at night. Exactly.
Right. It's such the vaccinate. The only place I'm going to tell the only place a vaccination card is going to work is
Airport.
airports, maybe federal buildings because they could probably type you in a computer and go boop. No, you're not vaccinated. But then again, I see the ACLU getting on that because now you're giving every Tom, Dick, and Harry federal employee access to everybody's health
Right.
records, and that ain't gonna fly.
Right.
Yeah.
So and now
Try.
and one other thing to think about for this section next week, and this is where I'm wondering. So many states now are either haven't done anything or are starting to take down mandates and shit like that. So you no longer have to listen to the illegal mandate. What anybody see the next step being? Now that they're doing exactly what you said, Jacob. Now it doesn't make any sense. Is the next part of for those who believe in the whole conspiracy thing.
Last I heard, they were going to shut the grid down for 2 weeks.
Okay, cool. But
What?
in addition to that, what happens with? Do they now say, okay, yeah, we're going to leave it to you guys. You make the decision. Is the next part of the experiment to see how many businesses, how many people will still wear masks, even if they don't have to?
There'll be a
I
lot.
honestly believe so.
There'll be
Yeah,
a lot.
I honestly believe. Well, do you notice that here, Daddy DeWine hasn't seemed to come out saying, "Okay, guys, we don't really need to wear the mask like that anymore." Okay, guys, it was months ago that he was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of that, curfew thing."
Yeah.
That was it. Curfew.
Well, I mean, because you can only get corona after 10 p.m.
Yeah. Hey, no. You can get it walking to your table, Jeremy. Come on.
Yeah, the 4 feet to go from the front to the table.
But once your ass touches the chair, you're no longer susceptible
6 feet
to it.
Good.
from chair to bathroom.
Well, that's because it hovers at about just above your head on a table
Right.
when you
See,
sit.
I'm good. I'm above that head height position. So-
Fuck, I'm lucky I'm short.
No, you're not. That's where the problem is. See the gap. There's only a 1.5 to 2 foot section of the Rona. So I'm above that, so I can just stand up and I pass it as long as I hold my breath in that 2 foot section.
Yeah.
Good.
So, but I see that. I mean, I see that. Especially big companies, based out of, let's just say, more liberal states.
Big companies, you see signs up there. It's a law to wear the mask.
Oh yeah, well, Starbucks. You know damn well, Starbucks is still going to make you wear a mask even after the mandates are gone.
But here's and we're up against it. But
We're
my
over it.
one and only question out of this is how much money has been made from these companies that I don't know if you've seen them yet or if you've been in anywhere with this, but you walk up to this little kiosk with a camera and you stand there with your mask on and it automatically takes your temperature and verifies you have a mask on your face.
Yep.
I've seen that.
It's a machine that there doesn't even have to be a person there checking your temperature.
Hey, I mean,
It's taken 12 months to invent this piece of technology to send it back to a central server unit to say that this person has this temperature at this day.
Yeah.
You're telling me, you're going to sit here and tell me that this shit hasn't been pre-designed.
well,
This shit was ready. Companies were ready to tell almost every one of their employees that was not essential to physically do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You can go work from home.
Right. Well, I mean, you got to think that the technology was there, but it wasn't there in a package for that function because nobody gave a fuck what your temperature was when you walked in the door prior to Corona. And yeah, sadly, unfortunately, sometimes new product development and companies like that take 6, 8, 12, fucking 16 months to fucking get a product out.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I'm curious to see where the fight starts between the states and the Fed, because the Fed still, even though they're not getting the press, the Feds, because they don't want to put Biden on TV. Thank fucking God.
We're up against it. We can't keep going. We can't
okay, but I'm curious to see where this all goes. And again, next week when we get back into a format, first 15 is going to be about our group and prepping. Second 15 is going to be Constitution stuff in Congress. The third 15 minutes will be current events, and the last 10, 15, whatever it is, will be this.
We'll try to keep Cosper under that time restraint.
I'm gonna have a timer with a beeper, so it lets
I was just saying you're gonna have to,
And I may just let the beeper keep running until we go to the next subject. So
you may just have to shut our mics off for a minute.
Yeah, just mute both of us if we get into it.
I can only mute both of you, so
there you go.
So anyway,
so that'll be the format. That's what we're this is just kind of a teaser to it, and we'll get into it full bore next week.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being on the show and taking time out of your week. Thank
you
you guys for watching as usual. Please like, share, subscribe, share with your friends. We'll be back next week. And bring your camp knives next week. We'll do the camp knife thing next week.
I'll bring it.
Or bring one or two of what you mostly use. So thank you guys very much. Be safe, and we'll see you next Tuesday.